Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Watchlist by Magenta Trade. Today is Wednesday of the 27th of July, and we are back with our regular YouTube live program, The Watchlist. At Magenta Trade, we teach you how to grow your portfolio using options trading strategies. In this program, The Watchlist, we help you navigate through the market by discussing news, views, and opinions, along with the stock updates. We look for trading and investing opportunities using stocks and option based strategies. In our options trading masterclass program, we teach you how to grow your long term investment portfolio and to protect your capital from severe market downturns using different strategies based on stocks and options. If you are interested to know more, please visit our website www.magentatrade.com. You can also keep in touch with us by following us in the social media, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And of course, while watching this program, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. With that, let's get started, and let's start with our disclosures first. At Magenta Trades, all our discussions are solely for educational and information purposes. We are not investment advisors, and you should consult a financial advisor before making any investments. Options trading involve exceptional gains, but at the same time, they pose inherent risk. Past results are no guarantee of future gains. We are not finance professionals, and we are not aware of your personal financial circumstances. For more disclosures, you can visit our website www.magentatrade.com. Quickly, a couple of words about me. I have been actively trading for more than 15 years, and I have turned my personal trading experience and passion into professional coaching. Um, Recently, we have formed this company, Magenta Trade, to share with you my strategies of success in trading using simple terms and techniques. My favorite areas of coaching are trade management and money management. I have experienced immense potential of trading options based on stocks and ETFs, and I help you understand how they might help you build a steady and reliable retirement income stream. As a coach, I focus on a daily routine, follow simple rule based strategy, use simple tools to enter and exit the trades, and manage your positions in 15-20 minutes every day. At a Magenta Trade, we base our strategies on three dimensions of investments: long term capital growth, building a retirement portfolio over a long period of time, generating regular income using stocks and option trading strategies, and ensuring your capital is adequately protected against severe market downturns so that your hard earned money is not wasted in adventure. Um, Now, let's have a look how the market is playing, and then we'll come back with our earnings reports. Quickly, the biggest news of the market today is Fed Reserve mm, uh, hike of 75 basis point in the interest rates. So that's been playing with the market, and that clarifies a few things as well. So the market is happy in general. In general, the market is able to absorb that news. Or why I'm duplicating it? I'll just make it intraday. Let's say 5 minute chart. Let's make it 5 minute chart. And this one is, I'll go to SPX. So this is a 5 minute chart for today. As you can see, it opened higher actually, and then it steadily maintained. So 75 basis point. There is, um, you know, um, confirmation. Once I think it was this is 5 minute chart. So it was confirmed around here, this big bar, when the 2 o'clock the decision was published, and then after that it was a big confirmation. Okay, and then of course a little bit settling down here in this big negative bar here as well, and then again it stabilized. So the market was stabilized around 1.5% level. Now it is again increasing at a higher pace. So that's probably going to happen for some time, but overall the market is happy, and the movement is around 1.8% as of today from yesterday's closing. So it is at 3990 now. Now what? The question is, now what? The market fell here, and to from this level on 21st of July, from the level of almost 4,000. This high was 3,999, and from there, the next day, 22nd of July, the high was 4012, and from there, it went down up to 3914. Now it is back again, around towards going to the 4,000 level. Now the question is, will it go past 4,000 or even 4,100? Well, personally, I don't think so. But then again, who knows about the market, right? But going by the the Bollinger Band, how it is operating, usually what happens is when the any symbol actually touches the pricing, touches the upper band or the lower band, then tends to follow that direction for some time. So that normally happens. So here also it followed up to 3-4 days. um, the second factor that we have been discussing for some time now, the band was narrow here in the center. Around the lowest point was maybe on 19th of July or something. From there it has started expanding. When this band start expanding, the upper band and the gap between the upper band and the lower band, it starts expanding, then market actually bursts in a particular direction for that stock. Either it is towards up or towards down, it goes in a particular direction and it gets strong momentum behind that directional movement. Now in this case, it initially went up a little bit, but then again it fell for 2 days. Now it is up to the up to the news of the different earnings report of different companies, and that's what the S&P 500 is dependent on now. So do I personally think that it will really go in the upward direction for a longer period of time, and then it will have a very confirmed momentum towards that? I doubt it, but it is definitely possible. And everything is on the cards. It has not yet established that it will go down as of today because of the confirmation of the 75 basis point rate hike. Now, but still, personally, I believe that the chances of it going up is much lesser than chances of really going down. Why? Because the macroeconomic factors are still very much the same. There are supply chain issues. There are issues due to the war in Ukraine. The earnings are good for some of the companies, but not great for all the companies. There are a lot of companies which are not expecting great results in the next 6 months or so. And they have mentioned that in their earnings report. Only a couple of, like in a few companies, Microsoft has said clearly that their results would be much better. And their prediction for the next 6 months or the forecast is very positive. Google may not be that much. You can say normal growth. They are expecting normal growth. Their results were not good for the past quarter, but the forecast is normal as per expectation. As there are some companies, of course, Shopify was a disastrous result, but again today that company is going up. So there are mixed results. And most of the companies are expecting some challenges going forward. It's not a smooth ride for the next 6 months. They are recovering. Definitely, they are recovering from the COVID days for the last couple of years. But still, it is in terms of, if you compare with the pre-COVID scenario, not many companies are really in a very, very great shape. So my take is that wait and watch. Um, today, because today it is a very, very big movement of 2%. So wait and watch. I'm not closing my beer call trade as of now. If you would like to, get specific, direction, I'm not going to close that bear call trade. I'll just wait for tomorrow. If tomorrow there is another definitive move towards, the bullish side, then probably I'll close it. So my decision would be tomorrow, not today. I just want to watch out how the market plays today, because there are lots of, there were lots of positions, probably, made by the traders based on this Federal Reserve interest rate hike, and that particular has action has completed. At the end of the day, or you can say for the last couple of um, weeks, the analysts started to accept that, okay, 75 basis point hike is normal and is expected, and that's why, so they have accepted that, the traders have accepted the result, and it is in the positive direction. Had it been lesser than that, probably the market would have rallied more. But at this stage, I think it's just acceptance of the reality. No one probably likes it, but then it is the acceptance. Okay, so we'll come back to the market. Let's quickly go back to our earnings report that we published in our social media channels. So if you're not following us there, please do so. One of the biggest earnings report is Google or Alphabet. I don't really normally say them Alphabet many times, but for me, it's just Google. Such a good name. Why to call them Alphabet? Okay, so Alphabet or Google reported their second quarter, June 2022 earnings of $1.21 per share on a revenue of $69.7 billion. The expectation was $1.27 per share. So it is just below the expectation, and the revenue was expected to be $70.8 billion. Revenue grew 12.6% year on year, which is not, great. It's a normal growth. The CEO of Alphabet, Sundar Pichai, said, in the second quarter, our performance was driven by search and cloud. The investments we have made over the years in AI and computing are helping to make our services particularly valuable for consumers and highly effective for businesses of all sizes. As we sharpen our focus, we'll continue to invest responsibly in deep computer science for the long term. So basically, it's just a continuance of their research and development. Um, Ruth Porat, the CFO, said our consistent investments to support long-term growth are reflected in our solid performance in the second quarter, with revenues of $69.7 billion in the quarter, up 13% versus last year, or 16% on a constant currency basis. We are focused on a responsible capital allocation in support of our growth opportunities. Some other snippets. Google search and other revenue increased by 13.51% year on year. YouTube ads revenue grew by 4.83% year on year, and Google ads revenue grew by 35.61% year on year. Okay, now let's jump on to another one, which is a Humana. I was doing some trades on Humana last year. This year, I have not done much. Humana reported the second quarter, June 2022, earnings of $8.67 per share on revenue of $23.7 billion. The expectation was $7.67 per share on revenue of $23.4 billion. The results are very good, but the market is not has not accepted. Maybe their forecast is not great. The stock is currently down by 3.85%. Revenue grew 14.6% year on year. The company said it expects 2022 earnings of approximately $24.75 per share. The company's previous guidance was earnings of approximately $24.50 per share, and the current expectation was in line with that for the year ending 31st of December 2022. So, what has happened here? Let me check again. The company reported second quarter 2020 earnings per diluted common share of $5.48 on GAAP basis, and adjusted earnings per share $8.67 non-GAAP. Reports reported year to date 2022 earnings per share of $12.77 on GAAP basis and $16.70 on an adjusted basis. Okay. So other highlights: revenue grew 14.6% year on year. The second quarter revenues for the retail segment increased by $2.4 billion, and revenue for the group and specialty segment in second quarter decreased to $134 million. Okay. Now there are a couple of results that we updated yesterday in our social media, so I'll continue with them as well. One of them was Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola had a good result considering overall market scenario. And these are the two companies, Coke and MacD. They reported, consistent earnings. Coca-Cola reported second quarter June 2022 earnings of 70 cents per share on revenue of $11.3 billion, whereas the expectation was 67 cents per share on revenue of $10.6 billion. Revenue grew 11.8% year-on-year basis. The company said it expects a 2022 earnings of $2.44 to $2.46 per share. The company's previous guidance was $2.51 to $2.55 per share, and the market expectation was around that level of $2.46 per share for the whole year. So that's Coca-Cola. The stock is currently down by 1.38% as of today, but yesterday it moved better actually. So let's quickly look into the summaries. Global unit case volume grew by 8%. Net revenues grew 12%. Organic revenues grew by 16%. Sparkling soft drinks grew 8%, driven by growth across all geographic operating segments, primarily led by India, Mexico, and Brazil. So it's mainly is having good results in the emerging markets. Okay, let's move on to another result. 3M company. So 3M company announced their second quarter June 2022 earnings of $2.48 per share on revenue of $8.7 billion, whereas the expectation was $2.41 per share on revenue of $8.8 billion. The company said it expects 2022 earnings of $10.30 to $10.80 per share on revenue of $34.47 billion to $35.18 billion of revenue. Okay. The company's previous guidance was earnings of $10.15 to $10.65 per share on revenue of $35.71 billion to $36.77 billion. And current consensus current expectation was $10.53 per share revenue and $35.88 billion of um, sorry 30 $10.53 of earnings and $35.88 billion worth of revenue. That is for the entire year. Okay. Now, sales were down by 3% year on year, organic sales growth of 1% year on year. Operating cash flow was $1.1 billion, down 40% year on year. And 3M returned $0.8 billion to shareholders via dividends. Okay. Now, let's move on to the market and some other results, maybe. So currently the index is the S&P 500 is up by 2.45%, and Dow is up by 1.3%, 429 points. Nasdaq is up by 349 points. So Nasdaq is up by almost 3%. No? Yeah. So mainly the movement is on the Nasdaq side. S&P 500. VIX volatility index is down by 5.5%. Of course, the Federal Reserve rate, that particular uncertainty is over now, so the volatility has come down. And dollar index is down by 0.7%. Gold is up by 1.2%. Silver is up by 2.6%. And oil is up by 2.4%. Euro is 102 cents to $1 to 200 cents to $1 of US dollar. So 102 cents. So that's up by 0.9%. Bitcoin is up by 6.5%. And Ethereum is up by almost 10%. That's good. Apple is up by almost 3% today. Accenture is up by 4%. AMD is up by 5%. Amazon is up by 5%. So the market is very positive, especially around the tech sector. Most of the stocks in our watch list are going up. That is good. Now let's look at Chipotle. CMG. Chipotle is up by 14% today after the earnings report. Yesterday, I think they reported the earnings. Let's quickly go to that. They reported earnings of $9.30 per share on revenue of $2.2 billion, whereas the expectation was $9.03 per share and revenue of $2.2 billion, the same. Revenue grew 17% year on year, mainly. The forecast is, I think, good. Operating income increased 37.5% and comparable restaurant sales increased 10%. So that is pretty good. In restaurant sales increased 35.9%. Digital sales represent 39% of food and beverage revenue. Operating margin was 15.3% and increased from 13%. Okay. So that's a Chipotle Mexican grill. Stock is currently up by 14%. Other one is we already discussed Alphabet and Microsoft. How is Microsoft doing today? Microsoft is up by 6.5% after yesterday's result. So Microsoft did not report very good results in terms of the second quarter, but their forecast was very good. Their expectation in the next 6 months is good. That's why the market. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry, I was just had to go mute. Okay. Now I'm back. My apologies for that. Quickly look into the other stock, that's Shopify. Shopify yesterday they had a horror result, and now today it is up um, because the market is expecting that it will recover in terms of um, the revenue and earnings for the next quarter or next 6 months. So the market is upbeat on that. So today the stock is up by 10%. The main factor for today's growth is the yesterday's announcement of a layoff of 10% of their staff. So that is probably encouraging to the market. But yeah, in general, it was not a good result, and their forecast was also not that good. N-phase energy is up by 17% today after their strong results announced yesterday. As you can see, the expectation was earnings of 86 cents, where the actual was $1.07 per share in the quarter. And revenue against expectation of $509 million, it is $530 million. So that's why it's a very strong movement there in phase energy. PayPal also increased today ahead of the earnings on 2nd of August. Today it is up by 11.84% on the back of a report from the Wall Street Journal that activist investor Elliott Management took a stake in the company. That's interesting. Teva Pharmaceutical is up by 25% after it reached a tentative settlement to pay more than $4 billion for its alleged role in the opioid crisis. Okay. So that is pretty good because there is a settlement on that particular case, and also their earnings report. Earnings report was good as well. against 56 cents of expected earnings. The actual was 68 cents, and the revenue was more or less expected. Spotify. Spotify. Okay, this is a higher loss. Expectation was 71 cents loss, and the actual loss was 89 cents. But the stock is up by 12%. Our revenue, because the company reported a music streaming service an increase of 14% in premium subscribers. Okay. In general, let me again have a look. Revenue is better than expected, but in terms of the loss in earnings, it was much more. So, not sure why the probably they expected more losses. So that is better now. Garmin is down by almost 9% on the earnings report. Okay, the revenue is less and the earnings are at the same level. The company pointed to a strong dollar and supply chain issues as reasons for the weakness. Garmin's adjusted earnings per share came at $1.44. Okay, now the stock was Hilton. Worldwide holdings. The stock is up by almost 8% after the earnings report. Let me quickly check here. Expectation was $1.05, as against that the actual was 1.29 cents, like $1.29. And revenue is up by 6% as well against the expectation. So that is pretty good. Okay, so that is those are the some of the movements as of now. Let's go back to the S&P 500 once again, and let's see what's the market is doing at this moment. Currently, it is up by 2.5%. Again, it reached the the top of the Bollinger Band. Yes, there is a possibility now that it will burst in that direction. There could be a bullish rally, but I'll take a decision tomorrow or whether to close um, uh, the beer trade or not. Let me check quickly what is happening to that. It is showing in my account. Yeah, it is 4,100 to, and we sold 4,100 call and bought 4,120 call. So that is at a loss of $248 as of now. So I'll just wait for it. Maybe tomorrow I'll take a decision. Okay. Tomorrow I will take a decision on this, whether to close that or not. Okay. That is right. And I'm not opening any new position today. The market is really upbeat on the Federal Reserve announcement. Let's actually look at a couple of things in that announcement itself. What has changed? So let me quickly show you something. This is a document. This is from the CNBC website. I have not drafted myself. The changes. Whereas where there is these strikeouts is there in the red font, that is been deleted from the previous month's statement. Today it is July, so it is in the June month statement. This line was there, but now they have deleted that, and this one is the addition where there is no strikeout, but in red highlighted, or you can say red underlined. That is the new addition. Black ones are the same as these. So they are saying that recent indicators of spending and production have softened. So it is not really growing anymore, but softened. Nonetheless, job gains have been robust in recent months, and the unemployment rate has remained low. Inflation remains elevated, reflecting supply and demand imbalances related to the pandemic, higher food and energy prices, and broader price pressures. So they have changed the language on this. Earlier they said invasion of Russia. Now they are saying Russia's war against Ukraine is causing tremendous human and economic hardship. The war and related events are creating additional upward pressure on inflation and are weighing on global economic activity. In addition, okay, the committee is highly attentive to the inflation risk. The committee seeks to achieve maximum unemployment. Okay, the committee has raised the target range for the federal fund rates to 2.14 to 2.12%. Two and okay, 2.25% to 2.5%, and anticipates that ongoing increase in the target range will be appropriate. In addition, the committee will continue reducing its holding of treasury securities. Okay, so it is more or less unanimous this time, the rate hike. That's it. So that's about it in the announcement. So this is what has changed as such. That is nothing much, little bit. Okay. So I'll wait for any further action in the market. As of now, I'm just waiting to see where the market goes today and then what happens really tomorrow. Tomorrow is the main day after the results have been, absorbed by the market. The positions are adjusted, and tomorrow, whatever the traders will decide, that will be more appropriate, to go in that direction. So if you are looking for bullish direction, bullish action, or bullish positions or trades, then maybe just hold on for a day and let's see what happens. If you want to close your bearish position on the SPX, of course it's your trade, so you can take the action and you can close the trade. I'll just close it tomorrow after the market opens. That's my take. Thanks a lot for joining today, and see you back on Friday, maybe tomorrow. I'll not be able to have a session. So on Friday, see you back on Friday. Thanks a lot for joining, and have a good time.